Okay, let's see if I can do this right. This is like the third or fourth time of me recording this because the first time I kept screwing up, the second time I kept screwing up on what I was gonna say, and then I found out when I thought I had it, like the fourth or fifth time, I realized that the music was just way too loud. So let's try this again. So first off, you guys know me. Obviously this is, you know, you're on my channel. In case you don't know, I'm Foxboy. I'm the creator of Happy Father's Day, the Silent Hill crossover webcomic. Crossover as in my characters have crossed over. Also, the comic Barb and Winza. I'm also known for the character Cotton Candy and Jill E. Bean. And so, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the future of the channel, or at least for the next few months, at least. First up, we have this year I'm going to be taking my yearly hiatus a little early. For those of you who don't know, every year around the summertime, I typically take a 2 month hiatus. This year I'm going to be taking a 3 month hiatus. And the reason for that is because usually around the summertime, my job has this tendency to... They tend to give me a lot more hours than normal, and typically I wind up having to not have as much free time to really, like, focus on my work and stuff like that, my personal comic work and stuff, because it gets really busy, and then by the end of the day, I am way too tired and I crash out. Also, it's the summertime, it's super hot, everybody is miserable. I worry that my computer's going to overcook if I have it on too long, stuff like that. Other thing though is I typically try to use the summertime to hopefully spend more time with friends and family. So as anyone who anybody who knows me personally knows, I'm a bit of a hermit. I have a tendency of just kind of like grumpily going into my room and doing artwork and reading and researching things for comics or stories and things like that I want to tell. Usually people, I even have a little sliding sign on my door that tells people pretty much to, like, don't bother me, I'm in the middle of work. But yeah, so as of now, there is another comic page coming up this Wednesday. It's already made. I just want to give breathing room for the last pages that I did. I originally had these 2 pages as one big page, and I didn't like the flow of it, so I cut it into 2 smaller pages. So, expect a page coming up this Wednesday. I might be doing another, like, one more page. Like, just because I go on hiatus doesn't inherently mean that I stop making comic pages. It just means that they typically slow down to a crawl. But yeah, the next page that I'm hoping to do after the one on Wednesday, I'm probably going to release at the end of May, and that one's going to be we finally made it to page 100 of this comic, like, in total. So I'd like to at least start majorly start my hiatus on dropping page 100. Other note for taking this hiatus a little early is mostly because the part of the comic that we're coming up to, the Midwich Hospital section of this comic, has been a nightmare writing wise, because this part of the comic has been written, rewritten, just planned out, then scrapped, then planned out again, then scrapped numerous times. So the comic kind of needs a little more time in the writing chair to let it bake a little bit more. I also want to make sure that things kind of flow smoothly, and that I'm not just kind of like needing to drop something for the week and just kind of lazily slopping whatever I can together. I've done that with a couple of pages, and it doesn't feel good, but it's like, oh, I missed out like a week already, so I have to try to squeeze something out. So I want to try to make sure the comic has like time to essentially cook. So by the time I get back to mid-August, pretty much I want to make sure that everything, and I mean everything, for the Midwich Hospital, and maybe a little bit after, is already planned, ready to go, set, locked in the chamber, everything done, Maybe not the pages themselves done, but at least the script of the comic I want to make sure is done. All the dialogue is already like written out and everything. So that's kind of my plan. And so that, that's how it would be easier on me to make a new page every week and not have to worry about the headache of it. Other than other things for the announcement, and so it's like, you might be wondering, like, oh, does this mean like when you're on your hiatus, you're not gonna like work on comics like at all or anything like that? Well, no, that's not true. I've been neglecting a certain comic that people really fell in love with, and I kind of neglected it because I was so busy with the Happy Father's Day comic, because there's so much that needs to make sure is in place and make sure it works. So mentally making Happy Father's Day is a bit draining, because there's so many things I have to like keep track of and make sure things are correct, and make sure that certain symbolisms that get shown aren't like out of place or anything like that, because the last thing I want to do is to throw just a random symbol, in an area and just be like, it have no meaning there, to be there. But the comic that I've been neglecting, or to get back on track, the comic that I've been neglecting is Barb and Winza. I've been really wanting to get back on writing and drawing Barb and Winza stuff for a while. I just haven't, because, once again, of the Happy Father's Day comic. And Barb and Winza is not a comic that's hard for me to write and draw and stuff like that. Like, book 2 has already been written and planned out. Like, the whole script is already done for book 2, but it's been sitting on my desk for like 2 months because I've been too busy with the other comic to give any attention to Barb and Winza. And I know people have been really wanting to see more of Barb and Winza, so that's kind of my plan. So yeah, I want to, hopefully book 2 will start being made soon after this announcement, and I want to be able to, for anyone who doesn't know, the reason why I've been making Barb and Winza in the first place is because I've been really getting into making what are called zines, like basically just little pocket comic books and things like that. I like to go to conventions, or like there just a few days ago we had a free comic book day in like the next town over, and I went there with a couple of copies of Barb and Winza Volume 1 and passed them out to some of the owners and to some of the people there, and they loved them and wanted to see more. So it would be cool to be able to continue with that. I mean, I already have like a ton of ideas to keep this story going. It's fun. It's something people really want to see. So I'm can't wait to hop back on the train and get this comic working again or going again. Let's see, what else is there? Oh yeah, another reason for the hiatus is also I want to give some attention, as some of you have noticed. I've been making 2D animations, or at least working on 2D animations. And so I haven't been able to really make a bunch of these lately because I've been working on other stuff and it's been getting kind of busy over here. So expect to see more animatics, more little animation practices or whatever. Um, yeah, I've been really wanting to make like little shorts and make little movies. I actually have I've been wanting to make a like an animation journey list, essentially, or I don't know what you would call it, but essentially just a list of things that I've been wanting to animate and get good at. I essentially, one of the things I think would be cool would be to do a whole Roger Rabbit theme animatic or animation, like full animation of like trying to make my own kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit like short, um like just maybe just like a scene in a movie or something like that, but try to like also work out the technical issues of like practical filming and like working the puppetry of like moving objects, you know, like they did in like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to be like, that would be like my big like final mini project before moving on to like bigger things in animation. um but yeah, I've been really excited to like make more of these because they've been a lot of fun. Matter of fact, my Instagram blew up. It went from having like just like 300 followers to suddenly having almost 2,000 followers, and it's all because I posted a couple of those cotton candy animatics. Um, People just fell in love with them, so I expect more of those, definitely. Um, I'm I'm not quite sure how I'm going to end this, so I just want to say thank you for listening to the whole thing, if you have, and good night, and stay safe out there. All right, bye.